So in today's video, we're going to see how to make this Puliyogare powder, which you can store, as well as how to make the Puliyogare rice. So let's start with the Puliyogare powder. Now these are the only ingredients you require. Let's go through the ingredients. Now here I have 1 tablespoon of urid dal or udit dal. This is 1 teaspoon of methi seeds or fenugreek. 3/4 teaspoon of peppercorns, 1 tablespoon of chana dal, 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds or dhania seeds, half a tablespoon of cumin seeds or jeera, 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds, 3 dried red chilies just broken up into smaller pieces, half a cup of sesame seeds or til, and about 2 tablespoons of grated dried coconut. So here I'm going to heat a pan. Now we're going to dry roast all the ingredients on a low to medium flame. So I'm going to first start by adding the urid dal. Next we'll go in the chana dal. Now keep your flame on very, very low when you're doing this process. Next I'm going to add the dried red chilies. I've just broken them up into smaller pieces. Next I'm going to add the peppercorns, the methi or the fenugreek seeds, the coriander or the dhania seeds, the mustard seeds, the cumin seeds or the jeera. So now we're just going to roast this by stirring it in between on a very low flame for about 5 minutes till you start getting the beautiful aroma of all these spices. Now this, once you grind this after adding, the remaining ingredients, which is the dried coconut and the sesame seeds, you get about, half a cup of this Puliyogare powder. But for our Puliyogare rice, we're just going to use about a tablespoon or maybe, 2 to 3 teaspoons, depending on how much rice you have and how much you want to make. So this makes about half a cup. And this Puliyogare powder is so flavorsome. Anyway, right now I'm adding the sesame seeds. So I've just put all the other spices at the side on a low flame still, and I'm just roasting the sesame seeds. They'll start to pop. And then I'm just going to put everything together again, just place it at the side, and then I'm going to add this dried grated coconut. So like I was saying, we're not going to use the entire powder that we're going to grind, because this Puliyogare powder is very, very flavorsome, and once you make it, you'll see how strong the aroma is and the taste is. So we're going to add just about 2 to 3 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon at the most for like 1 cup of rice, like I'll show you in the recipe. So you can make this and store this, and if you want to make more, then just double the quantity of all the ingredients I've shown you. So you will get about 1 entire cup of this Puliyogare powder. Now this Puliyogare powder should be stored in a very clean and dry glass bottle or a steel bottle. And you don't need to keep it in the refrigerator. You can keep it in a cool, dark place like your pantry or your spice cupboard. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. So now I've done with the roasting, and you can see that all the spices have been nicely roasted. Do keep an eye on it. Don't just leave the pan unattended, because then the spices will burn, and when the spices burn, they just don't give a very good taste. They become very bitter. So now we're going to let this completely cool, and I'm going to be grinding it in my mortar and pestle, but you can definitely grind this in a dry grinder or in your normal mixer. Just ensure that the mixer is completely dry. So when I'm grinding it in my mixer, I wipe the mixer completely clean, and I like to keep it in the sun for about at least half an hour, so that it gets completely dried. Whenever I'm doing grinding any dry spices or any dry powders. Now I love grinding these masalas in my mortar and pestle, and first of all, it gives a very different as you're grinding it, it gives you a beautiful aroma of all the spices being crushed up. So I love to do this whenever I'm making these masalas or powders, and if I have the time on hand, either listening to my favorite music or listening to my favorite podcast. And this even takes me back to my childhood. So in my ancestral house in Goa, we used to have a stone like this, which was 10 times the size of what you see now. It was a huge thing, and I think it's called rogdo. And I was assigned the duty of grinding all the masalas for the fish curries or the chicken shakuti. So my grandmother used to give me all that, and with fresh coconut. And we had this rogdo in one little corner of the kitchen, and it was very close to our kitchen well. And I used to love sitting over there and doing this. It used to take me almost like an hour because my grandmother was very particular, and she used to like the masala paste to be very very fine. So I love doing that, and then just doing this brings back those memories. So whenever I have the time on hand, I either grind in this or I have the flat masala stone, and I love grinding chutneys on that. I mean, if you grind masalas on stones, like this, it just gives you a different flavor altogether. Some chutneys or some like chaat masalas, I love grinding them on the masala stone. So I just thought I'd share this with you. Anyway, so this is our Puliogare powder, and after grinding it really fine, it took me about 10 to 15 minutes, but I enjoyed the whole process. And this is the Puliogare powder. So we want it to be very, very fine. And now I'll show you how to make this Puliogare rice. It's an amazing, very, very quick recipe. So now again, I'm going to heat a pan. I'm going to heat my pan up. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oil. Now once our oil is nice and hot, I'm going to start by adding half a teaspoon of mustard seeds or mohri or rye. Now once our mustard seeds begin to pop, we are going to add about a tablespoon of urad dal or udid dal. I'm going to add a teaspoon of chana dal. Sorry, that was a teaspoon of urad dal too. And then I'm going to add two dried red chilies, some few curry leaves, about 7 to 8 fresh curry leaves. And I'm going to mix all of this really well together. Don't worry, friends, all the ingredients are going to be in the description box below. Now I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoon of raw peanuts, and we're going to fry the peanuts really well till the peel of the peanut becomes a darker brown color. Now this is a small paste or a pulp that I've prepared with 1 tablespoon of tamarind and 2 tablespoons of gur. Or jaggery. I've just soaked it for some time. I'll leave the instructions to that. Now I'm just adding 2 teaspoons of the Puliogare powder, and I'm adding this jaggery and tamarind pulp. And we're going to mix everything very well together. So like I said, I soaked the jaggery and the tamarind in about 1/4, 2 to 3 tablespoons of water for about 15-20 minutes, and then I extracted the pulp. Now we're going to fry this till it becomes nice and dry like this. So the mixture should look like this. And now I've just cooked about 1 cup of rice, and I'm just going to add that. So this is a nice dish for even leftover rice. If you just want to make something, this is an amazing recipe. And this Puliogare powder has a very long shelf life too. It lasts for about 2 to 3 months if you store it well. And whenever using the powder, also you try to use a very dry spoon. And now just mix everything really, really well together. This rice is a very different kind of a taste. It has a sweet, sour, and now of course I'm going to flavor it with a little bit of salt. So it has a sweet, sour, tangy, spicy, a blend of all the flavors. And now that I've mixed the rice really well, I'm just going to turn off the heat. And now all we have to do is just garnish it with some finely chopped fresh coriander. And our Puliogare rice is ready. So I hope you liked today's recipes. Do give them a try and do leave your comments in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. I'll catch you in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.
I hope you liked today's recipe as well as today's video, and if you would like to see more videos like this, then don't forget to leave this video a big thumbs up. Also, by clicking the thumbs up icon. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and become a part of Akshata's recipes. Once you have subscribed, there is a small little bell icon that will pop up, so just click on that. That way, whenever I put up a new recipe or a new video, you get a message for the same. So on that note, I'll say bye and I'll catch you in my next video sooner than you think. This is Akshata saying bye, take care, stay healthy, stay fit, be kind and loving to one another. So till we meet again, bye.